Namaste. Welcome to the lecture series on the subject Applied Thermodynamics. This is module 5 in that part 1 reciprocating compressors. This is lecture number 3 and myself Dr. N. Satish Kumar, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Bantwal. Now in this lecture we will discuss the heat transferred in a reciprocating air compressor. So the total heat transferred in a reciprocating air compressor is the sum of heat transferred during polytropic compression per kg of air and heat transferred during polytropic expansion per kg of air. That means the polytropic compression is 1 to 2 and polytropic expansion is 3 to 4. So only during these two processes, so there is heat transfer. Consider the polytropic compression process 1 to 2. So this is a compression process 1 to 2, right? So applying the first law to this, the total heat transferred is given by Q is equal to W plus du. So for the polytropic process 1 to 2, W is nothing but P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by N minus 1, which is also equal to R into T1 minus T2 by N minus 1, because P1 V1 is equal to RT1. And du, which is nothing but the change in internal energy, is nothing but Cv dt. So Cv into T2 minus T1. And if you substitute in the equation for Q, so it is R into T1 minus T2 divided by N minus 1 plus Cv into T2 minus T1. Now, if MAC, that is a mass of air compressed in kg per minute during the process 1 to 2, then rate of heat transfer. Suppose whenever you want rate, that is per minute or per second, so you have to multiply it by mass of air compressed. So Q, you will be getting it as MAC into the expression from the previous slide, that is R into T1 minus T2 by N minus 1 plus Cv into T2 minus T1. So here MS is the mass of air compressed per in kg per minute. Suppose if you take it in kg per second, then you will get it in kilojoules per second. Now the mass of air compressed here MAC, so that should be calculated at the inlet condition 1. Now if you consider the process 3 to 4, so again you can apply the equation Q is equal to W plus delta U. So for the expansion process 3 to 4, which is polytropic, the work of expansion is P3 V3 minus P4 V4 by N minus 1, which you can express it as R into T3 minus T4 by N minus 1. And du, as usual, is Cv dt, that is Cv into T4 minus T3. And if you substitute in the equation for Q, you will get it as Q is equal to R into T3 minus T4 by N minus 1 plus Cv into T4 minus T3. Now if MAE is the mass of air expanded in kg per minute during the process 3 to 4, so then the rate of heat transfer in kilojoules per minute is given by Q is equal to MAE into R into T3 minus T4 by N minus 1 plus Cv into T4 minus T3. Now in order to find out the mass of air undergoing expansion during the process 3 to 4 MAE, right, you should know the volume of air undergoing expansion at point V3. You see, always the mass should be calculated in the inlet condition. So inlet of expansion process is 3, so you should know the volume V3, which is the volume of air left in the clearance volume at the end of delivery stroke and which is undergoing expansion during the process 3 to 4. And also you should know the specific volume at point 3. So total volume divided by specific volume, that is V3 by small v3, is nothing but the mass of air compressed at point 3. Okay, and V3 here nothing but RT3 by P3, which is also equal to RT2 by P3 because T3 is equal to T2 here. Okay. And the heat rejected in the intercooler. Suppose if there is intercooling, then the heat rejected in the intercooler is calculated. This is especially applicable for multi-stage compression. So the multi-stage compression, after undergoing compression in the first stage, the air is cooled in the intercooler before it is fed to the second stage. So this is the temperature at the end of the first stage compression, and this is the temperature after intercooling. Then Q is equal to Cpa into T2 minus T2 dash. If the intercooling is perfect, then T2 dash is equal to T1 then heat rejected in the intercooler will be Cpa into T2 minus T1. So this is how you have to calculate the heat rejected in the intercooler in case of multi-stage compression, especially two-stage compression here. Now let us discuss the volumetric efficiency. So what is the volumetric efficiency in case of an air compressor? Ideally, the inlet valve should be open when the piston is at TDC, because you know that you see this is TDC and this is a BDC. Okay, this is TDC, this is BDC. Okay, you can consider horizontal piston cylinder arrangement. So the 1 to 2 is the compression, 2 to 3 is the delivery. Okay, that is when the piston is moving from bottom dead center to top dead center. Now when it moves from top dead center to bottom dead center, so the movement starts at point 3. So here the actual suction would have been started, because the swept volume begins from point 3. But because of the clearance volume, wherein some compressed air is left out at the end of the delivery stroke, compression and delivery stroke, okay, so that air expands first to the point 4 during the process 3 to 4, and the actual suction begins from point 4 to 1. So actual suction is taking place from here to here. Can you see here? So this is the actual suction, though the suction begins at point 3 here. So that is what the inlet valve should open when the piston is at TDC, so that suction of air into the compressor takes place throughout the stroke from TDC to BDC. So throughout the stroke from here to here there would have been suction, but suction is starting from only from point 4 here. Okay, then the volume of air drawn per cycle at inlet conditions is equal to the piston displacement. If that would have been the case, the volume of air that would have been admitted into the cylinder would be equal to the displacement, piston displacement, or the swept volume, which is nothing but pi d square by 4 into L, where pi d square by 4 is the area of the piston or cross-section area of the cylinder, into L is the length of the stroke from TDC to BDC. This length is L. Okay. But reality is not that. However, some clearance gap between the top of the piston at TDC and the cylinder head is essential to avoid collision between them, because to have some cushion effect, so to avoid the collision of the piston head and the cylinder head, so we are leaving some gap between the piston head and the cylinder head, which is called as the clearance space or the clearance volume. Consequently, at the end of the delivery stroke 2 to 3, the clearance volume is filled with compressed air, which is high pressure air. As the piston moves from TDC, the inlet valve does not open until the pressure inside the cylinder drops to atmospheric pressure. So when the piston starts moving from 3 to 4, so this air, which is highly compressed air filled in the clearance space, expands first until the pressure drops to atmospheric. Then only the inlet valve will open and the actual suction will begin. So till then there will not be any suction. So this happens when the piston reaches the position 4, that is what, 3 to 4 is the expansion. So at 4 the inlet valve will open as shown in the indicator diagram in the previous slide. Okay, in other words, the actual suction takes place as the piston moves from the position 4 to BDC, that is 4 to 1. It is therefore obvious defined as so that actually the actual suction begins from 4 and ends at 1, which is the BDC. Okay, so the volumetric efficiency can be defined as the volume of air drawn per cycle at inlet condition in meter cube to the piston displacement, ratio of the volume of air drawn per cycle at inlet condition to the piston displacement in per cycle in meter cube. So here the piston displacement per cycle is pi d square by 4 into L in meter cube. So don't consider it as multiplied. So it is piston displacement formula itself, it's written. That's why it's written comma and then formula. Okay. So what is volume of air drawn in per cycle at inlet condition? That is nothing but V1 meter cube per cycle. Okay. And the piston displacement, it is already written pi d square by 4 into L meter cube per cycle. Now if you want to convert this into volume flow rate, so volume flow rate into the compressor at inlet condition, if you consider it as a meter cube per minute, then the piston displacement in the denominator also you should consider per unit time. So then what you will do is the piston displacement, which is pi d square by 4 into L, which is meter cube per cycle, should be multiplied by the speed of the compressor, which is Nw, working speed of the compressor, which is RPM. Okay, so it is revolutions per minute or cycles per minute. So cycle gets cancelled, so it becomes meter cube per minute instead of meter cube per cycle. So it becomes V1 meter cube per minute divided by pi d square by 4 into L into Nw meter cube per minute. So suppose if you want it per second, so convert this V1 into meter cube per second, and here divided by 60, the speed has to be divided by 60 RPS, so it becomes meter cube per second. So piston displacement per unit time is nothing but pi d square by 4 into L into number of cycles per unit time. That is what Nw. So Nw is the number of cycles per minute, which is usually it will be the speed of the compressor, RPM. Okay. If V1 is the specific volume of air at inlet conditions, then if you divide both the numerator and denominator by the specific volume V1, so numerator volume of air drawn in per cycle at inlet condition divided by specific volume, denominator also divided by specific volume. Okay, then it is mass of air drawn in per cycle into V1 divided by, because this V1 in the denominator, now it is gone to the numerator. So this volume of air drawn in per cycle at inlet conditions divided by specific volume, so that gives the mass of air drawn in per cycle. So denominator is pi d square by 4 into L, that is the volume of air drawn in per cycle, that is swept volume or piston displacement per cycle. So you can write it as MA into V1 divided by pi d square by 4 into L as the efficiency formula. So this is per cycle. Suppose if you consider it as per second or per minute, so then denominator you have to multiply by speed, Nw. Okay. Now we will derive an expression for volumetric efficiency in terms of pressure ratio and clearance. So clearance CL is a ratio of clearance volume to the swept volume. You know that at the end of the compression and delivery, so some volume of compressed air is left out in the space provided between the cylinder head and the piston head. So that volume is VC, and the swept volume is from here to here. See, this is the VS from 3 to 1 along 4, and this gap is VC. So this is VC. Okay, it is written here, and here I write Vs, which is the swept volume. So ratio of clearance volume to swept volume is the clearance, that's all, CL. Okay, so this is nothing but V3. So clearance volume is here, Vc is equal to V3, and swept volume is nothing but volume from V3 to V1, that is 3 to 1 actually. So V1 minus V3. Okay, with reference to this indicator diagram, it is V1 minus V3. So whenever you derive this expression for volumetric efficiency in terms of pressure ratio and clearance, better you draw this indicator diagram. Okay, and also you know that volumetric efficiency is nothing but actual suction volume divided by swept volume. So actual suction, as all of you know, is from taking place from 4 to 1. So actual suction is V1 minus V4 in meter cube. Okay, and swept volume is, just now you wrote V1 minus V3 in meter cube. Now make a small adjustment here. So I'll add and subtract V3 from the numerator. So V1 minus V3 I will add, I will subtract minus V3 from V1. So I will add plus V3. So minus is taken outside, so it is inside the bracket is minus V3, V4 minus V3. So this minus is already there. Okay, denominator is as such. Now first two terms you can see it gets cancelled with the denominator, it becomes 1. Okay, that is V1 minus V3 first term. And second term V4 minus V3 divided by V1 minus V3 will remain as such. Okay, so you see I am just separating the two terms in the numerator. Once again I repeat, I am separating the two terms in the numerator of this expression here. So V1 minus V3 divided by V1 minus V3 is 1, minus in between V4 minus V3 divided by V1 minus V3 is the second term. Okay. Now in the numerator of the second term you take V3 outside, so inside the bracket you will get V4 by V3 minus 1, and the denominator as it is V1 minus V3, so it becomes 1 minus V3 into V4 by V3 minus 1 divided by V1 minus V3. Now you have to assume that compression and expansion follow the polytropic law P to the power n is equal to C, and you have to apply it for the process 3 to 4. So what you can write, P3V3, I'll write that equation since it's not written here, P3V3 to the power n, because P to the power n is equal to C, so I am applying it for 3 to 4, so P4V4 to the power n. Okay. So here what happens is P3 is equal to P2. So this term becomes P2 and P4 becomes equal to P1. So you can write as P2 V3 to the power n is equal to P1 V4 to the power n, or V4 by V3 is equal to P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n. So just think, so this formula what I am bringing here is to replace this V4 by V3 here in the original expression for volumetric efficiency. So you have to understand that. So V4 by V3 can be now replaced as P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n, because I am trying to express the volumetric efficiency in terms of pressure ratio and clearance. So clearance and pressure ratio. So already I wrote an expression for clearance. Now I have to bring the pressure ratio. So that's why these modifications I am doing here. Now let me write this expression again from the previous slide. So the volumetric efficiency, eta V is equal to 1 minus V3 into V4 by V3 minus 1 divided by V1 minus V3. And all of you know that V3 divided by V1 minus V3 is nothing but CL. Initially we wrote that. So V3 divided by V1 minus V3. This part is nothing but CL. And this V4 by V3 is nothing but P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n from previous slide. So what you get is eta V is equal to 1 minus, so CL, in place of V3 by V1 minus V4 you have CL, and in place of this entire term, this part is gone now. So numerator is remaining with V4 by V3, which is nothing but P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n minus 1, and this is the expression for volumetric efficiency in terms of pressure ratio and the clearance. So it follows from the above expression that for a given pressure ratio, the volumetric efficiency of the compressor reduces with increasing clearance. Moreover, it is also seen that larger the pressure ratio, lower will be the volumetric efficiency. So volumetric efficiency of the above expression that for a given pressure ratio, volumetric efficiency of the compressor reduces with increasing clearance. So if the clearance is increased, volumetric efficiency reduces truly, because more air if it is accumulated, the expansion process 3 to 4 will take longer duration, and there will be less space, that is length available for the actual suction. And also it is seen that larger the pressure ratio, lower will be the volumetric efficiency. If the pressure ratio is also large, so then also the volumetric efficiency is small from the above expression. Now coming to the factors affecting volumetric efficiency. So the pressure drop at the inlet valve. So there is some pressure drop across the inlet valve. So this results in an increase in the specific volume of the air sucked in, and therefore reduction in the mass of air drawn in. Hence the volumetric efficiency decreases. So pressure drop at the inlet valve reduces the volumetric efficiency. Then preheating of incoming air, that is air entering the cylinder valves and the piston. So this results in an increase in the specific volume of incoming air and reduction in volumetric efficiency. Leakage of air through the valves and past the piston rings causes a reduction in volumetric efficiency. So if there is a leakage through the valves and the during the passage between through the passage between the piston rings and the cylinder, so this also causes reduction in the volumetric efficiency. And inertia of air in the inlet manifold causes less air than expected to be drawn in. So if there is inertia, okay, in the pipes which is letting the atmospheric air to enter into the compressor through the inlet valve, the inertia also causes the less air to be drawn in, so that volumetric efficiency reduces as a result of this. So with this I conclude this lecture number 3 of this module 5, and will continue in the lecture number 4. Thank you.